Hey folks, if you enjoy the show and you want to help us make more videos, please do consider supporting us on Patreon. Okay, thanks, bye, love you.
You didn't arrive with Mr. Clinton, did you?
No, Mr. Clinton came on his own, I think.
He did. Oh, Robin, really.
There hasn't been a single celebrity death that has hit me harder than that of actor and comedian Robin Williams. His tragic passing in August 2014 sparked a worldwide collective mourning given his legacy and influence on the entertainment industry over almost 40 years. There have been plenty of upsetting celebrity deaths in recent years, like the massacre that was 2016, but there was something special about Robin. He had a trait that very few other celebrities could ever truly claim to have. With a lot of artists, you love their work, but can you truly say that you love what they themselves represent?
You made a Polish joke. I have a really good one if you'd like to hear it.
With Robin, you never felt like you were just growing up with some fictional character like Batman, Indiana Jones, or Super Mario. Robin was a real person, someone you felt close to, despite the vast array of characters he portrayed. Even in his worst projects, Robin still managed to uphold a certain level of charisma, humor, and emotion that he was able to capture the attention of an entire generation of audiences. His mere existence alone was enough to make many smile. And when I think about it, Robin Williams was more than just the comedy genius he is best known for. He was the personification of human emotion, and he taught us, in essence, how to grow up. During his student years as a classically trained actor in Juilliard School in New York, he became recognized across campus for his sharp dynamic humor, ability to jump into any character with distinct voices and personalities, and even his critics, who viewed him as merely just a comedian or impressionist, were eventually in awe of his emotional range, specifically in his performance of Tennessee Williams' harrowingly complex play, The Night of the Iguana. In fact, Robin had such a unique voice that ultimately one of his tutors felt remaining in traditional acting school would only restrict his ability to grow and shine as a performer. It's no surprise that he would take this advice and later go on to become synonymous with the title comedy genius, which before today actually meant something.
My God, Nanoka Marin. My God. This is lovely. Look at this thing. My God, right now there's a whole bunch of animals going, shit, is it cold? Jesus.
As a stand-up comedian in the 70s, he was an incredibly intelligent and witty performer similar to that of Peter Sellers, who at the time was famous in his own right for being a very sophisticated performer who made it look so easy, and Robin only further grew upon that. Much like Sellers' multi-character performances such as in Doctor Strangelove, Robin's fame grew as an improvisation artist as he leapt from one distinct character to another without any lapse in his ability to maintain composure and believability. Creatively and intellectually, it's an intense skill that is rarely seen, but more importantly, Robin wasn't afraid to inject his own personal life into the equation as well. Robin used a technique that's not necessarily uncommon to performers that derive from Sigmund Freud, called free association. In Freudian terms, it was a psychoanalyst method alternative to hypnosis, where the patient would openly relate ideas or thoughts that immediately came to mind when the analyst invited them to speak. The theory was that people were so emotionally conflicted by their need to learn about the self and defensively hold on to their fears and insecurities that needed to be confidently revealed in order to effectively learn more about who you truly are and how you think and feel. This way, their flow of thought was greeted non-judgmentally and with encouragement. Thus, the patient could be aware of their actions and behaviors in the outer world and feel safe in understanding them. Robin fundamentally brought this technique into the comedy club environment, where the purpose wasn't so much to unearth answers about the self, but to encourage a journey of self-discovery to reinforce the human character. On stage, Robin would openly and non-linearly speak his mind, and improvise much of his material without fearing both censorship and judgment. You hear a lot that comedy is a form of therapy for many, and with Robin it heightened a sense of genuine awareness and honesty that wasn't masked behind characters like it appeared. He used his talents to engage the audience and make them feel happy and inspire, instead of this brooding and overtly serious style of comedy that some comedians seem to project when we talk about raw honesty.
And then the next thing you know, there you are at Betty Ford Hospital going, I'm fine now. I'm a reformed alcoholic. I feel so much better about myself. I am fine. No, you have that double vodka. I'll be over in the corner kicking the cat.
Robin was always open about his stress, depression, drug addiction, and alcoholism throughout his entire career, with many critics highlighting how deeply personal his material could become to the point of absolute heartbreaking exposure. He may have appeared manic and utterly insane in his performance, but he wasn't afraid to penetrate his demons and make himself vulnerable, which, incidentally, makes his humour all the more human and less artificially crafted. Behind the exterior of an energetic clown, he was, as I said at the start of the video, a real person, someone we could empathize with. His behaviour never appeared egotistical or looking for attention. He just loved making people happy and was passionate to perform at any given opportunity. His love appeared to be for comedy, but he never resigned to being one class of entertainer. You weren't buying into his work, you were buying into him and his notion of free, non-judgmental thought. He could play the funny man, the angry man, sad man, and even a deeply disturbed man, but most of his films were thematically about life or growing up, and he himself always became the centerpiece to those themes. Granted, in retrospect, some of them didn't exactly age well or were not that great in their time, but as a young person, I grew up feeling connected to his recognizable presence and voice on screen.
C'est l'amour.
He eventually became greatly associated with coming-of-age films that he was the guy to hire if you wanted someone to give you an exciting and fun performance, but could also deliver that life-affirming monologue. But that was fundamentally Robin Williams in a nutshell. He could break down a tense or emotional barrier and engage worries and insecurities without any scrutiny or judgment. Before Inside Out was telling the world that it was okay to cry, Robin Williams had been doing it his entire career. He wasn't ignoring his tragedies, but instead embracing them with a smile, and literally looking on the brighter side of life when you're hit with the burden of personal fears and demons. Regardless of whether his speculated ad-libbing is entirely true or not in many of his films, Robin always found a way of igniting his characters in memorable ways that you could see your own inner voice project through. I always felt he spoke from my own troubles and worries, or found a way to articulate them, and made me freely associate with my own thoughts and feelings. Comedy and drama aside, it was his willingness to expose his inner self and embrace life for all its brief glory, without neglecting that the good comes with the bad, is something that his power and influence as an entertainer is perfect for. He universally inspired and established a new way of thinking for aspiring performers and audiences alike. But it was more than talent. Like many critics suggest, Robin Williams' greatest contribution to the world of entertainment is himself. Robin wasn't afraid to show us that life can truly be as crazy and wondrous as we want it to be.
Come on, pal. You're not afraid, are you?
Nah. Fuck it.